These are, that's stainless steel. That's too hard for aluminum. It's imperative we get them out. These might just be copper wire with or aluminum wire. Not so dangerous except for the eye hook as far as ruining blades. I'm putting on a blade lubrication system for the sawmill. It used to run on water. That's just simply a hose that comes down and drips on the blade, and water's kind of messy. I use diesel. You have to use a fraction of the amount of diesel as you do water. You know, the only people that I've heard complain about, oh, my wood all smells like diesel. That's because they're using too much diesel. So next steps after, see, this is a felt piece. Put the blade back on. Adjust this down so it'll have diesel dripping on us, and it'll soak this felt pad, rub it onto the blade, keep it lubricated. You know, one of the main purposes of blade lubrication, it's not so much cooling as it is lubrication. You know, like when you're cutting high-pitched woods like Douglas fir or pine, this can build up with pitch or sap, but if you have a thin film of diesel on there, it won't stick. Because with these type of band wheels, if these get all caked up with too much pitch, it'll knock the blade off, and we don't want that. A lot of freeboard here. I'm not sure we're gonna have enough clearance on the far end, so I'm gonna measure carefully before we start cutting. Okay, this one is loose. I did not take the piece of firewood out, or I think the whole thing will roll over. Yes, it's pivoting on the firewood. So close. There, got it. Whoop. I just was wanting to check to see if we have any pitch buildup, and we do not, so yay. Smells like fir. That's dull. We're gonna put a sharp blade on. And remember how big those other blades are? My big saw, look how easy these are. They're tiny. Take a look at the void, yeah. There. Not that bad. So yeah, he may only end up with 5 benches, because we can put that side down and the other side's good. The idea was 6 5-foot benches, so we've got at least 5, and maybe either a shorter one or just 5. Well, I'm supposed to remember to shut the fuel off, make sure the clutch is disengaged, and then release the tension on the blade. And once I have my blade lube system, you make sure that's turned off or it sits there and drips all the blade lube out on the ground. Heat is your enemy for these blades. So that's another reason, you know, once they start showing signs of dullness, you should swap them out. Don't get them like completely dull, because that's when they're really getting hot. They can remove the temper from the ends of the teeth, and now when you try to do things out there, you just break them off. So here's the rest of my blade lube system. See, it's got a filter to keep the crap out. It's got an on-off, and then a needle valve right here to adjust the flow with the sight glass in it. And you know, so it's like 1 drip of diesel fuel per second. Keeps the blade clean. See how there's sawdust? See how there's buildup right here on this rubber tire where the blade runs? It'll stop that because I have that thin layer of diesel fuel on there.
What'd you say, 1 7/8?
We'll get down to about that. We're just over 2 now. Just dropped an 1/8, so might do this and another cleanup pass.
Does the guy know what he's using it for, or is it just kind of?
No, they don't know what they're going to use it for yet. This is our, let's see, we've done 6 slabs for him so far.
Right here, this part has got a magnet in it that's elected, I guess like an electrode or something, I'm not sure. And then you can move your stops. So once that gets there and the circuit's connected or grounded, I guess, on that, then it knows to turn. Let's go down one more. A gentleman came in with his cutting board that he'd put a hot pan on and burned it, and it was left, you know, the black ring. So he came and brought it to sand down, and we sanded it here. You know, Brad was helping him out because he was to replace it. It was a large maple board, and he said, yeah, it was like $100 and something to get a new one. So after seeing that, we sanded it. It came out pretty good. It didn't burn so deep. It looked like a brand new cutting board again.
The corner's up against, so let's come on down.
Well, that was way too easy.
What we're doing right now is checking for high spots. Make sure that we don't have anything protruding up that the automation will catch. take small pieces like this, and we want them to fit in the Aha Nui mold. A clean cut on one end. Got our marks on our sled, come over to 18.5. That piece right there is sized for the Aha Nui mold with the shell. Trim this one to maximize the size. And the customer can patch that out to whatever size they want. And in the wood, that size for the larger Aha Nui mold. The goal is to re-expose wood on both sides. That's some gorgeous curl. And then this was the epoxy that I suspended. So about 8 hours after I poured the initial pour, I came back and drizzled in the white and kind of troweled it in.
When you're hitting it, the tracks from the helical head on the flattener as opposed to the
This isn't
planer.
helical. This is helical with the 163 cutters, I think.
That
This
one's
is
not
the 5 cutters rotary.
Rotary, okay.
Also on end grain. So when you have end grain, you tend to have a lot of tear out.
So the planer almost works better if you can.
In some settings, yeah. It's still
Depending on the
still
wood.
not recommended for end grain.
Gotcha.
The flattener is actually better for end grain between the two of them.
Which one's easier to sand out? Just curious.
The flattener, because this is going to be long linear lines, so they don't have the orbital aspect to them, whereas this does. But
Yeah, because that makes all
Sanding,
of like
sanding.
hours.
sanding,
Yeah,
so
but if
you can't
cut,
get away from
cut
it.
a couple hours here and there.
Yeah, I don't think you'll cut any time. Just a matter of what grit you go at. So
So is that the same then? You can attack it with the same grit you would either.
yeah, pretty
You
much.
don't have to switch. That's cool.
So then we'll take this piece. When you're done with the table saw, we'll put it on the sled, cut our sides and our ends.
Maple?
Yeah.
So then now it's stabilized,
Yeah, to a degree.
or at least this section stabilized, but
Yeah, well, it was one of the harder pieces.
yeah, I would say that
So you
one
can see
is.
some of the blue tint kind of held in the grain here. If I didn't do it so fast, I would have sealed the end grain so that that color didn't wick up it.
Oh, is that what that portion
Yeah.
there? Yeah, that's
But
barely
at the end of the day, it
noticeable.
doesn't matter on this wood because this wood will blend. It's got so many colors going on. It didn't take much blue there anyways. But you can also see I didn't seal the live edges. So now you have as nice of a bond as you can get between live edge and epoxy.
Yeah.
No bubbles, no nothing.
I think it looks cool that way, though. That's neat. So I didn't realize that almost looks like I didn't realize it was the blue taking it in.
Well, it can be blue. It'll also do that with clear epoxy.
Yeah.
It's just going to darken it up like any finish. So
With that
When I
CA
do-
that one time, it was doing
yeah,
that
so when
too.
I do finish it, it all goes away anyways. So